Hey guys, welcome to today's Life Success Factors video. So today we're going to talk about how you can overcome your limiting beliefs. If you haven't already, please check out my previous video on how you can motivate yourself when you lack motivation and turn your beliefs into success. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay guys, so what is a limiting belief? So a limiting belief is any sort of mental roadblock that actually prevents you from taking action. Now, a limiting belief can manifest itself as self-doubt, a fear, or a subconscious thought that actually prevents you from taking a calculated risk or an action of any sort. Now, limiting beliefs are not very useful. I'd agree that a certain level of skepticism is actually helpful when it's time to decide on a course of action. But when it comes to our own goals and achieving our goals, it's actually healthy to suspend our disbelief and actually have that sort of sense that, okay, we can achieve something great, even if we don't quite know what the path there will look like. Now, suspending our disbelief is helpful because sometimes we need to be a little bit unrealistic about whether we can achieve a goal, because it's only through being unrealistic that we can dream large enough that we get to a point where, our dreams may actually scare us in the sense that we may think it's impossible, but sometimes we have to believe that the impossible is impossible, and only so much so that we actually make the first step and actually start on our journey. Because as you progress, as you start making progress towards your goal, you will actually believe that you can achieve it, no matter how big it is. So I want to talk about some of the steps that you can take to overcome your limiting beliefs. And the first one that I wanted to talk about today was identifying your limiting steps. Now, we all have goals that we're working towards. Some of these goals are actually going to be easier to achieve than others. But have you ever wondered why this is so? Some of these steps are actually limiting steps, and limiting steps are the ones that we tend to focus on, we tend to obsess on, and for whatever reason, we actually can't figure out a way to move forward and cross that roadblock. At this stage, what I want you guys to do is just to visualize, identify what this limiting step is, and then try and think about ways that you can sidestep this, or think about some alternative steps that you can take that will allow you to move forward or move to a place where you can figure out a different course of action for your particular goal. Now, it's important to remember that you don't spend too much time on this, because as I'll explain later, sometimes it's better to reframe your goal so that you're actually able to progress towards something that is realistic within the context of, say, a greater goal that you're trying to achieve. So the second tip I wanted to talk to you guys about today is to try and develop unshakable self-confidence. Now, I know this may sound like a little bit of a chicken and egg situation, but there are ways that you can improve your self-confidence such that this self-confidence will actually help you overcome some of your self-limiting beliefs. Now, Brian Tracy talks about this concept called the law of concentration, and what this basically means is, in effect, what you think becomes reality. Or in other words, anything that you will, you can make reality or true. So if you think about things such as boldness, courage, and self-assuredness, then naturally you will start to, these things will start to manifest in the way that you behave and in your conscious mind, and these will start to manifest in the actions that you take, and you'll be more self-assured, which will mean that you develop more self-confidence. There's this phrase that I really like, and it goes, "You are not what you think you are, but what you think you are." Developing this unshakable self-confidence will actually allow you to get out of your comfort zone, and getting out of your comfort zone will enable you to start taking calculated risks. And calculated risks are the things that get rewarded ultimately in the end, which will help you achieve your goals and help you achieve success. And it's a natural cycle, guys. So as you take more calculated risks, you get rewarded and your self-confidence grows. Now, as your self-confidence grows, you start to take more calculated risks, which then get rewarded even more. And as you get rewarded even more, you're more motivated to take action, and your actions will lead to greater success and greater rewards. And you can see that it's one big virtuous cycle. And the third tip, guys, is I want you to start to develop a plan of action. Now, a plan of action is actually going to give you a bit of a roadmap for how you're going to achieve the goals that you set for yourselves. Now, I don't necessarily advocate for large or grand goals, but rather a main goal and sub goals that are in service of this main goal. Now, I want you to set these sub goals in the SMART format. If you haven't heard of the SMART format, it's basically goals that you set that are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and have a time horizon. As an exercise, I want you to think about 10 goals that you'd like to achieve in the next 12 months. Now, imagine, if you will, that you had a magic wand, and if you wave this magic wand, that in the next 24 hours, you'd be able to achieve one of those 10 goals. Now, that goal is your purpose, and that's the thing that I want you guys to work towards. And so when you're working towards this goal, I want you to use a SMART format to think about some specific actions that you can take that will help you achieve these goals, this goal in the SMART format. Now, guys, I hope this video has been helpful for you. And before I go, I wanted to leave you with this parting thought. If you can envision it, you can achieve it. There are no limits to what you can achieve, but those limits that are in your mind. Thanks, guys. If you like this video, remember to like it and subscribe to my channel. Comment down below if you agree with what I've said, or if there are things that you'd like me to touch on in the next video. And I hope to see you there. Thanks.